Guys, you got me in the car today because I'm out doing my second job on my day off, which is Uber and Lyft. I just had some passengers in my car and we had a great discussion. You know, when they first got in, I didn't know if they were where they stood politically, and I wasn't necessarily looking to talk politics because I usually don't talk politics, but somehow it ends up coming up. And it was a great discussion because we're all on the same page about the state of affairs in our country. You know, we talked about how the left is so radical and how they are, you know, enforcing all this indoctrination on people, how they're using violence and intimidation and fear through Antifa and all these protesters, you know, attacking people, all these random attacks, snatching off Trump hats, throwing drinks in faces, you know, shouting people out of restaurants. And we talked about how politics isn't really the war that's going on. The war that's going on right now in our world is good and evil. All right, and it links perfectly with the last video that I made where I talked about the Democratic Party and their history. Their history of their party is rooted in evil. The history of the Republican Party is rooted in Christianity, Christ, you know. So it's good versus evil. The battle that is happening right now in the United States and across the world is about good versus evil. It is just playing out politically. Now, nobody should be able to argue this at this point. It should be just to put the issue to bed. The Democratic Party founded the KKK. The Democratic Party founded Planned Parenthood. The Democratic Party controls the main three pillars of influence in our society. The big three. They control mainstream media and news sources. They control academia in public schools and universities. And they also control Hollywood. Those three things bring about what we're seeing today. You have Alexandria Cortez, I forgot what her middle name is, who's a democratic socialist, which that's just a euphemism. Like democratic socialist, that's like saying Diet Coke. You know, it's socialism. And socialism is immoral. Socialism is evil. It's rooted in evil. Let's talk more about the Republican Party and what they've been doing. As we know, the Republican Party was founded to end slavery. And in the process, they founded the NRA, a civil rights group. A civil rights group that protects the freedom and values and God-given rights. You know, they protected slaves. What are the Democrats trying to do now? They are trying to repeal the Second Amendment. So again, good against evil. It is horrible that they're using the American flag and the United States as a whole, and they're calling it evil. They're calling the United States, you know, wrong. Pretty much anyone who supports, who's patriotic, anyone that's patriotic gets labeled a fascist, right? This country was founded on Christianity. The American flag is a good thing. They're saying, you know, America was founded on racism and all these horrible things. Okay, why are you attributing all of the negative to the flag and none of the good? America is not racist. America didn't own slaves. Americans own slaves, and some Americans stopped them. Again, good versus evil. So I hate when people talk about how America's roots are so evil. No, there were evil people in the beginning, and there were good people who stopped them. That is what it is. Throughout history, it's always been good versus evil. And right now, that is the battle. It's spiritual. You know, I feel like God is using me right now to kind of preach this message and get this message out to anybody that will listen. And anybody that doesn't want to listen and tries to tear it down, well, all I can do is really pray for you. Because if you can defend the evil history of the Democratic Party, especially if you're black, if you can defend what they have done to your ancestors, well, you have the worst form of Stockholm Syndrome I've ever seen. I don't care what we're talking about. We're talking about abortion, you know, with the black community. There have been three things that have held the black community at what, 13% of the population? We should be at least what, 25% of the population. We're still about 12, 13% of the population. Why? 3 reasons why. Number one, abortion. I think it was the year 2015 where more black babies were aborted than born in New York City. You know, why? I don't know what that tells you, other than it's evil. Abortion is evil. Planned Parenthood is evil. Its founder was evil. Margaret Sanger said that she wanted to exterminate blacks like weeds. You can look that quote up, even though I probably didn't say the exact quote. She said, exterminate like weeds. Eugenics is evil. I mentioned how it's used in Iceland right now, because Iceland, I guess, they want to get rid of, you know, I guess Down syndrome is what they're trying to eliminate from their society, but they're using eugenics for it. But here, Planned Parenthood, its founder was evil. It was rooted in evil. It is still evil today. The Republicans are against that. They always have been against that. The Democrats have always been for that. So again, did the party switch? If they're practicing the exact same things, they have the exact same values that they did before. So that's one thing. I don't want to get on tangent. Abortion is one thing that keeps the black population down. The second big thing that keeps the population down is black on black crime. Look at the most crime-riddled cities in the U.S. are run by Democrats. Some of the most dangerous cities where black on black crime is rampant, black on black homicide is rampant. Baltimore and Chicago are probably the 2 biggest. Those cities are run by Democrats. You know, the schools are really bad, so blacks aren't getting out and getting education like they need to. Who's against school choice? The Democrats. Where are the worst schools in the cities? The inner city, run by Democrats. So those are 2 big things. The third one, prison. How many black people are going to prison? Whether it's because they killed other blacks, that's 2 lives gone. If there's black on black crime, that actually takes out 2, you know, and others are locked up for, you know, unjustly, or they're, you know, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank right now, but prison reform needs to happen, because there are people sitting in jail cells because they had a pound of marijuana or something ridiculous like that. But the prison system is privatized and it's big business. It's an industrial complex. And then the crime bill signed into law by Bill Clinton. The war on drugs, I think that was Reagan, but Bill Clinton was definitely the crime bill to lock up more black people. It's pretty much what it did. So those 3 things have kept the black population at like 13%. How is this possible? It's the Democratic Party. And the more people walk away and see this truth and accept it, the better off they will be. This is not about joining the Republican Party. It's not about fleeing one side and going to the other. But it is about fleeing one side and going to the other. It's about leaving the side of evil and coming to the side of good. And if you want to call that Republican, Pelican, it doesn't matter what you call it. It's good versus evil. So I didn't really get that deep with my passengers. That's crazy. But they did subscribe to my channel. And it's great that I can have these kind of conversations with people, because it shows that people are starting to unite. People are uniting right now. And there's people uniting and there's people who are dividing. Which side do you think is doing the dividing and which side is doing the uniting? That is all I have to say. I have got to get off of this because I'm on the highway and you probably can't even hear me as well as you did before. But as always, like, share, subscribe, definitely share. And if you want to support the channel, there'll be links in the description to do so. I will catch you guys in the next video.